Welcome to your Monday Mood. A little delayed for the week of May 25th through May 30th, almost the end of May. That is insane. Remember, I do personal readings, so you can book one at experiencearcana.com. And the astrology this week is pretty light. There's some aspects that are happening on here. I don't get into the weeds on that. There's plenty of beautiful astrologers elsewhere, including Jupiter Juice, part of the Book of Arcana, that get into all of those transits, those intricate ones. But we do have a full moon in Sagittarius, late morning, early morning of the 30th, 31st. So basically at the end of the week, we have a full moon in Sag, which is a great time to take a look at the bigger picture. What is working, what's not working, what needs to be emphasized, what needs to be let go of. Like full moons always, right? They show us things and they also help us release things. Sagittarius is a very lucky energy. It's very much so about gaining knowledge, understanding what's best for our focused energy moving forward, how we can grow and expand, and where we can, keep moving that like cursor, right? So we're just like growing, where we're not stagnating. So Gemini season has this kind of curiosity with it. Okay, let's think about things. Let's think through things. Let's think differently about things. Let's connect with different people. Let's kind of engage in playful brainstorming. And with the Sagittarius full moon, you might find yourself getting some big epiphanies or aha moments of like, oh my God, this is great. This is exactly what I want to do. This is exactly what I need to help me grow and expand. That's where my abundance lies, right? So I like this week, especially it's a blue moon, which means it's the second full moon that we've had this month, and that happens once in a blue moon. So we are experiencing that this week. So it's very lucky, very auspicious, as we say over here in these parts. But let's get into the tarot. I'm using the Wild Unknown. The Judgment card keeps peeking through. So Judgment is about really hearing that voice of our higher self, of spirit, God, source, the universe. What is it telling us that we need to do? Where we may be getting a little too trapped in our own ego energy. Because Gemini, very ego. Sag, very spiritual. And so that kind of spectrum is interesting, because Sagittarius is the wise one. It's got a lot of wisdom and it teaches us. It's the teacher. And Gemini is the student wanting to learn. And so on the axis of this full moon, where are we needing to maybe become a student, or where are we needing to like really listen to our own wisdom and own understanding, right? You might want to ask yourself, am I a student or am I the teacher? And in what ways do I need to switch those roles in certain aspects in order to grow more or to expand? I had that conversation just a little while ago, actually, right? Allowing myself to be a student. How funny. We have the Daughter of Cups at the bottom. So the Page of Cups. Pages speak about being a student, learning something new, not being familiar with something, having to learn a new way of journeying or moving through. Cups energy has to do with our intuition. It has to do with our creativity, our feelings. So this week, maybe we're learning to navigate our feelings, our intuition, our creativity in a new way through being more curious, asking more questions, learning, listening, taking in, right? Cups is receptive energy. It's the feminine energy. So how are we sitting with information and learning how to integrate it into what we're feeling or what we already know, and where we're able to maybe be flexible. Gemini, Sag energy is mutable energy. So maybe some things coming in, hitting our emotions in a certain way that's like, I never thought about that, and it feels kind of interesting. I'm going to lean into that. So maybe leaning more into things this week, to get us out of places that feel empty, that feel like they're not growing. This is a stagnant energy, or like a sense of loss, or like scarcity, right? Five of Pentacles. So this week with the full moon, we have an opportunity to see the bigger picture about where we've been stuck, where something isn't being abundant, something's not growing, and where we can kind of like learn to ask, lean in, be curious about what else could I do, or how else can I think about this, in order to get us out of this temporary, because fives are temporary, state of lack or scarcity or not having. It's through us learning how to kind of connect more intuitively through, and that is a block potentially for some of us. Trusting our intuition, trusting our feelings, trusting our creativity to kind of lead us out of this Five of Pentacles energy, because fives are about change, so we're not stuck here, but we need to learn something, how to give or receive something in order to bring this rose back to life this week. So pay attention to the conversations, Gemini, that you're having with people. How are they teaching you, Sag? And where can you start to take some changes, that mutability in those energies, to start a new journey or expand upon your journey in a way that gets you out of what has felt lacking or unprogressed, I'd say. That is your Monday/Tuesday mood, and I will be back later. Check us out on School, House of Arcana. Thank you, everybody that came to Mystic Moon last week. It was so fun. I'm excited to announce the next one, so stay tuned for that. And like I said, you can book a personal reading with me at experiencearcana.com.